Hello, welcome to Revelator Alf for this live show here. The live launch of the new model, the mid-season model from Harley Davidson. So we're going to be getting into the specifics. We've got another hour. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, look at the ticker there. Just under an hour until the show begins, the live virtual launch from Harley Davidson as well. So we're going to be discussing all things Harley Davidson, of course. Let's get into that. If you want to join this live stream, if you want to actually become part of the live stream, the video stream, then send an email via the website revelatoralf.com, the contacts page, and then I can send you the video link to come and join here. So all you'll need is a smartphone, a laptop, a tablet with any kind of webcam, and you'll just need some kind of headset or microphone combination, earphones, whatever, so that the sound is coming through the microphone and you're hearing through the headset and not through your system speakers, let's say from your laptop speakers. Anyway, so if you want to join in, let us know. Join in the comments as well. Joris, hello, how are you? Good afternoon. Glad you can make it too. So we're going to be talking about this this new motorcycle. Released a video the other day. The news came out the other day that it was a leak, I suppose. It was a leak, wasn't it? That this new model, this new mid-season model that's going to be using the Revolution Max engine is going to be called the Sportster S. Now, this has been a long time coming, long time in the ether. Lots of people are saying this is going to be the follow-up to the Sportster or the new revamped Sportster. Originally, it was called the Low Custom, wasn't it? But then there's a bit of discrepancy. A few rumors came out saying it might be called the Nightster, but that is just a patented name that Harley Davidson have gone for. Many people now speculating, myself included, whether that will be for the Bronx, the Street Fighter, if we'll ever see if that'll ever see the light of day, rather. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens in that. But we're going to be discussing this engine, the future of this engine for Harley Davidson. Is it what traditionalists want to see? Is this new bike going to be called the Sportster S? Have they thrown us a big curveball here and they're not going to call it that at all? That could be an operating title, let's say, but they're going to call it something else. Is this going to be the only Sportster motorcycle using this engine going forward? Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Join in the chat and leave your comments afterwards after the live show has ended. Let us know what you think as well, and ask any questions, whatever questions you want as well. By all means, please do. But let's get on to this Sportster S. It is a slightly different chassis. It's a totally new chassis in terms of the two new bikes that they brought out, the Pan America, of course, I'm talking about. But the dimensions are quite similar in terms of wheelbase, slightly, but different. They actually share the same engine mounting system. They've got using the Revolution Max engine, of course, the liquid cooled engine. Yes, it's going to be a big departure for a lot of Harley Davidson traditionalists out there, of course. But look, early feedback from the Pan America, people who've ridden it, myself included, have been very impressed with it. Very impressed with the power style, the power delivery, and the way it just functions as a complete package. Now, will people have the same reaction to this Sportster S or this Low Custom, whichever you want to call it? We'll soon find out. We're in less than 55 minutes now. But will it have the same impact? Will people react to it in the same way? I've already had lots of messages, emails, comments from people, and the camp is split, I've got to say. Lots of people are really looking forward to this bike. Lots of people are really confident about it. Lots of people are really saying that this is going to be the future of Harley Davidson. And all the other superlatives you can think of, and all the other platitudes that you can think of as well. There's lots of positivity about this new direction. On the flip side of that, though, there's also a lot of negativity as well. Or certainly what I've seen. There's a lot of negativity from people out there thinking, no, this is a complete departure from Harley Davidson. This is too far the other way. They shouldn't be putting this kind of engine in this style bike. Maybe in the Pan America, absolutely no problem. But they're saying this kind of bike, it shouldn't be there. There are also lots of people I've heard also say about sport, the name Sport or Sportster. Harley Davidson should just move away from that title because they just don't produce sporty bikes. And whether you agree or not agree, the Sportster isn't a sport bike, especially in modern terms, in modern times. So it's this whole naming. It's way the motorcycle is going to perform, and also is it really going to meet the expectations of the current riders, but also the riders of the future. But one of the biggest things that's really going to determine whether this is going to be a long-term success or not, it's whether it can attract new riders and also younger riders, in my opinion. But also, what is the price of this thing going to be? If it is it going to be competitively priced, as some have argued, at let's say a £15,000, dollars, shekels, whatever you want to pay for it. Well, actually, that's quite expensive for what we would normally have regarded as a Sportster, as the kind of, I wouldn't say entry level into Harley Davidson, let's say, but certainly with the 883, you had more of a cheaper motorcycle. Let's not forget that the Softail standard is coming in at a lower price point as well. So it really depends what they're going to use this bike for. Is it going to be their premium model in this new Sportster range, or is it going to be just the signature model, and then they're going to release lower models, smaller models in this Sportster range? Let us know in your comments. Let us know your thoughts. Steve Wright, hello, good afternoon. Hello, I'm glad. Steve says, I'm glad HDO are trying something new and hopefully succeeding. I'm a traditionalist. I am too, a little bit, I've got to say. As a previous heritage owner and now Sport Glide owner, good man, Steve, that's what I like to hear. Harleys must move forward or forward. I'm going to talk a little bit about forward thinking or really forward mounted controls here. Old school Jerry, $14.99 American. $15,000. That's what I've heard as well, Jerry. Yes. Joris, to bring in new riders. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way. Price same as a Fat Bob, old school Jerry. Yep. I mean, it could be that. Is that too high, though? Is that too high for what this Sportster used to represent? And I probably shouldn't say what this Sportster represents, but what the Sportsters used to represent. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about the pricing structure here. 51 minutes to go, people. 51 minutes to go until we get the live launch as well. It'd be interesting to see. But let's just dig into this Sportster S, that or the features that were released on it. It is using the Revolution Max engine. Yes, the same engine as in the Pan America. However, that it has been detuned. Apparently, we'll find out in 50 minutes. It has been detuned. The Pan America top power rating on the sport mode gives 150 horsepower. This is giving, I believe, from memory, it was 121. Remind me. Let me know if I've got that wrong. But we'll see. Old school Jerry, it's saying it's on the Harley Davidson website now. Crikey, that's a bit interesting. They've actually put that up on the website. But it's let's have a look at this then, shall we? Let me have a look on my other computer. I'll have a look at the American site and also look at the UK site here as well. For some reason, everything's not working here for some reason. Yeah, that's working there. Well, for some reason, Harley Davidson won't open up here for me. Let me just have a look at this. Let's open up in a new tab. Here we go. Anyway, we'll get back to that later. Site is not working. Yeah, I've got the same thing, Stephen. Thank you for joining. It could be here in Europe. They could have blocked it off in Europe. So old school Jerry, yeah, 121 horsepower, 94 foot-pounds of torque, I believe. 4-foot TFT display. I believe that's similar or exactly the same as on the Pan America as well. Like a little bit like the Indian with rider modes. It's got different rider modes like the Pan America as well. So I think there's a lot of crossover from the Pan America to this new bike as well. Let's have a look here. See if I can get this open up again. I'll just let that run. No, site can't be reached. Very interesting. Why that can't be reached? We'll soon find out. We will soon find out. Fernand Diana, salutations from Montreal. Steve writes, HD need entry-level bikes at entry-level prices. I could not agree more, Steve. Could not agree more. The Pan America will succeed, and the prices helped. Yeah, I think the Pan America is going to succeed because it's competitively priced with other big adventure bikes in that market as well. Jorg, hello. Yes, yeah, it's on the German HD site too. It could be a UK thing. It could be a UK thing that all of a sudden it's not working very well. Let me have a look here. I'll just let that do its thing now and see how it goes. Outfoxed. Harley would be silly not to price competitively with the Indian Scout. I think so. I mean, this would be interesting to see what market they're aiming at, or what competition they're aiming this bike out here. Oh, and let's have a look at that. Yeah, it's still 47 minutes to go there as well. So, I mean, Lee Hansford, hello. I have a Sportster 1200 and love it. Am I against a new version going down a different route? Heck no. I think it'll be a great thing for Harley. As always, the price is key. Absolutely right. What Duhuite, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. What time will HD reveal the bike? Well, 4 p.m. That's right. It's at 4 p.m. Another 47 minutes time there. That's when the big reveal occurs. Yeah, it's weird. I've got to say, Harley Davidson in the UK here, not getting through. There's some kind of block on that side. Maybe it could be my computer system, but I don't know. But anyway, let's discuss this a little bit more. So they've detuned the engine. So I've had lots of comments from people out there, and they're saying, well, why have they detuned the engine? And why is it only 121 horsepower when it should be 150 horsepower? And then they make a comparison. Well, it's a massive step ahead of the last Sportster, the old Sportster, of course. But actually, in terms of power, they could have made a massive statement here, with having the full power for this Sportster S, the top of the line Sportster, the signature model in this new model series, let's say. It could have been. I'd be interested to see why. Maybe they thought it was just a bit too much power for the Sportster, for riders to get onto this Sportster. But look, it's going to have forward-mounted controls as well, foot controls or foot pegs as well. Possibly, if you look at the Arch motorcycle, which is this kind of power cruiser like the Ducati DFL and other bikes of the sort, it's an odd riding style. I've got forward mounted controls on my bike as well, but to have something that's really fast and you're gonna get into a bend, get your knee down, let's say, it's a little bit awkward. Yes, people say they've ridden the Arch and it rides fantastically, but we will see. Jorg, yes, here we go. Let me just put that up there. 15,495 euros. I've got a feeling, Jorg, it's going to be around about exactly the same price here in the UK in pounds sterling, of course. We've had was it Old School Jerry who said it was about 15,000. Let me see if I can get this right. Where was it? Here we go. Old School Jerry in the US, coming up in US, $14,999. So here we go. I always love HD, even though I don't have one. Well, that's good. It's good to like something. Yeah, Old School Jerry. Here's the next point I'm going to get onto. 502 pounds wet, 34 degrees lean angle. RDRS standard. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting they put the RDRS on here. The reflex defense rider system, or whatever it's called, or the rider defense reflex system. You know, the one I'm on about, traction control and cornering ABS and all this sort of stuff. Forward controls, mid controls available as an accessory. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Possibly the mid-mounted controls, because it is going to have quite a low seat on it. Maybe that just wouldn't work very well. Who knows? Who knows? Here we go. Jose, hello. It is shown on the UK website. You might have connectivity problems. I could well do. I mean, I am pushing myself to the limit here on my site here. So it could be. It could very much well be that. Let's have a look here. Well, my other website is working fine. Here we go. This is an interesting one. So Jose is saying on the UK site, it's at 13,995. So £14,000. 14,000. Do you know what? I'm not sure what to make of this. I'm really not sure. Let me know what you think of this price point here. The 14,000, whatever it is, plus in the US, the 15,495 in Europe, 13,995 here. In the UK. What do you think for this new bike with this new engine? Is it a good price? Is it a fair price? Is it the kind of price that's going to attract new young riders? Definitely not, in my opinion. But will it attract people to Harley Davidson from other motorcycle brands? Possibly. One of the big things that people have always questioned about Harley Davidson is the engine, the air-cooled engine, or twin-cooled engines. Are they any good? And my point to people is always say, well, just go and try one, go and ride one, and then you'll see whether you like it or not. And possibly this is what people want to do here. They're saying, well, we currently ride liquid cooled bikes. That's the way to go. You're going to get much better power out of it. But we don't want to go to Harley Davidson because they haven't got a liquid cooled bike. Well, they used to, but they haven't got it now. But now they have. Let's just see. It really depends whether that kind of engine will be suited to this style of bike. Now, I know Indian have gone that way in some of their models, and I think that they've done quite well as well. And I really love the side profile look of the Indian engines as well. And I like the side profile of this Revolution Max engine as well. So let's just see. It's got cruise control as well, yeah. That's interesting that they got cruise control on this. I don't think it lends itself to being a cruising bike. I could be completely wrong. All LED lights standard, finally. That's all around me. Possibly, Harley Davidson are listening. Harley Davidson listen to you, the customer, the potential customer. Another 41 minutes to go here. This is an interesting one. Is it a premium bike? Is it really a premium bike? Possibly. They're going to be cheaper models. It's priced to compete with the Indian Chief. They're definitely pricing this against other bikes in that market, in that space. There is no doubt about that. But is this the premium bike? I'm not sure this is a premium bike. I don't think you can class this and this price as a premium bike in today's standards. Now, it could be. It could be what they're looking at. Is this the premium model in the new Sportster range? I believe it is. And I think I agree with you here in that I believe there are going to be cheaper models in the future. Because guess what? What they're going to do? They're going to release other models or other Sportsters with smaller size engines. I'm convinced of it. Maybe not in exactly the same style. Maybe they'll look and make a variation of it. Different aesthetics, different dimensions, different accent pieces. Just like the Sportsters now, they've got different models. I think this will be it. Lee, here we go. The price isn't going to attract. It may not. I think if it was 1,000 or 2,000 cheaper, I think it might have turned a lot more heads. At this price, I'm not sure, but I think it will. I think because let's not forget, you've got to overcome the competition. You've got to overcome the traditionalists, the air-cooled engine traditionalists. You've got to try and attract riders from other brands that produce really good liquid-cooled engines. So this is my thinking. Is it going to be a success? 3 colors available here. Let me know what those colors are, if you would. And I'll tell you what. Let me just see if I can get it up on here now. Still, it could be my other laptop that's playing up, guys. But let me try on this one, actually. Here we go. Hold on one second, if you would. There we go. Right. Harley Davidson. And, here we go. Right. United Kingdom. New motorcycles. Sportster S. Yes, it is on here, guys. It is on here. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come out of here right now. Yeah. Wow. Do you know what? It's not too different from the early models here. Okay, so we're talking about, I'll tell you what, let me just, as you're all watching it as well, you've probably got the website up and running. Let me share that screen with you, what I'm going to look at, and we'll see about that, shall we? Right, let me just share this for you. Hold on one second. And it's coming right now. That one, is it? I believe. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. There we are. Right, so it is Revolution Max 1250T. Interesting, 1250T. And liquid cooled powertrain. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Right, with double overhead camshafts and variable valve timing, offering ample torque and an immediate power band tuned to maximize rider control. Interestingly, quite a few people were talking about this during the week, and whether this variable valve timing would be on this Sportster S, because obviously it's on the Pan America or the Revolution Max engine. Would it be on the Sportster S? Here we go. We got Midnight Crimson, Stonewash Pear. What a name. And Vivid Black. Vivid Black is everywhere, isn't it? I'm actually here we go. Will Judge, I'm actually thinking about buying this bike. I think a lot of people will, depending on how this launch goes. Well, for you, let's hope it's a good one or a bad one. It depends which way, if you want to save your money or spend your money, I suppose. But anyway, not here we go. Sorry, not pear, it's pearl. That's right. Yeah. That makes more sense. Here we go. 3.1 gas tank is a little small, possibly. Yeah, possibly. I would agree that, is this kind of, is it a little bar hopper type thing? It's certainly not long distance. It's certainly not a touring motorcycle, is it? Here we go. Look, let me just try and get this. Let me get myself back on here for you. So there we go. It's on there. High mount exhaust. And another 36 minutes, guys, until the live launch. The high mount exhaust, inspired by the glory days of HD or Harley Davidson flat track racing. The pipes are crafted from corrosion resistant 304 series stainless steel and engineered to deflect exhaust heat away from the rider's legs and tail section. I've got a feeling that is still going to be hot for the rider. But I tell you what, perhaps this is why it has to have the forward mounted controls there to get your legs away from it. Certainly your right leg away from it as well. I would agree. That's possibly what the reason is. Yeah, let's get back into the website and see what else it says. Yeah, it's got the, oh, here we go. It's got a classic meets modern 4-inch round display. It's everything you need to know. Housed in a Bluetooth equipped 4-inch round TFT LCD screen, digital gauges, indicator, rider modes, and interesting. There we go. Oh, ride mode. Let's have a look here. It's what ride modes it's got. It's got sport, raid. I can't even talk. Sport mode, road mode, and rain. So when we talk about sport, I think that's you're gonna get the full 121 horsepower. When we're talking about rain, that's really going to chop it down, and you definitely notice this on the Pan America. And in all fairness, you notice it on all motorcycles that have these rider modes. No doubt, but on the Pan America, definitely notice a huge curtailing of the power available. And the road was just nice. It was just a nice linear bike. So I think if you're looking for a bike just to poot around on, on normal road conditions, I would say road mode. And then if you really want to hoon about a bit, yeah, the sport mode, I think so. It just by looking at that picture there, it does look a little low slung for me, and I'd say, I mean, that looks a little bit more like mid-mounted controls to me rather than forward-mounted controls. So maybe they aren't that forward in the first place. Perhaps maybe they're not. I mean, overall, I think it looks, the style looks good. I'm not sure about this, the size of that front tire though. That looks a little fat to me to be classed as any kind of sports bike. Here we go. But dual purpose powertrain. Yeah, the engine is a structural component of the motorcycle chassis, as I kind of said before. Same on the Pan America. Eliminated a traditional frame, which slightly reduces overall weight and keeps handling precise. Yeah, they've stiffened up the whole chassis here as well. Make it your own. Yeah, look, there's going to be lots of parts and accessories. Actually, that picture there doesn't look too shabby at all. I think you turn up to anywhere on that bike and it's going to turn a few heads. I've got a feeling this color scheme, this vivid black, it would be the one for me if I was going for it. I've never been a massive fan, I've got to say, of the black and gold combination, that kind of thing, when they did it with the Lowrider S, and obviously they've done that kind of combination before. It's not my kind of thing, but look, credit where credit's due. It looks really good there. I've got to say. I do like the profile of this engine, this Revolution Max engine. I mean, it looks the business. That front mudguard there, if we look at that is really dinky, isn't it? So again, look, I will say this right now, with that really small front mudguard, that front fender, you're going to have a lot of road chips, a lot of road debris kicking up against that front grille, that radiator grille. So I can already see, people buying this bike and then making videos on how to cover that up, just like as we did with all the Softails as well. So that's it. I mean, that's how we go. Here we go. Gautam Verma. What a great name, Gautam Verma. I hope I pronounced that right. Where are you all watching the launch? Right here. Watching it right here. There we go. Here we go. Joris, my wife is a fan, so it may be something for her. Wow. I think it could be for a lot of people. I don't think it's just for your wife, but if your wife likes it, fair play. Yeah, old school Jerry. A 160 front and a 180 rear. I've got no problem with those tires. No problem with those tires, front and rear, for any bike. But I think when you start talking about sportier bikes, sportier, accent bikes, I'm not sure having that size tire on the front. You look at the Fat Bob, when you push it, okay, you notice it in two modes on the Fat Bob, either really slow riding, it feels a bit wallowy, and then on the higher speed riding, if you put it into a bend, it can feel a little bit as if you got too much resistance there. But there we go. That's just my opinion. I would like to see, if you're going to go for a sportier bike, then just, thin it out at the front a little bit, and at the rear, I've got to say, thin it out just a little bit at the rear. But there we go. As with the previous V-Rod, another bike that's going to be an uncomfortable and painful ride distances. Well, Dennis, I've got to say, I don't think this isn't for distances. I don't think. People will buy it, people will use it for distances, but I agree with you. I don't think it's the bike for any distances. Is this going to be viewed in the same way as the V-Rod? I asked this a few weeks ago, the exact same thing. Will it be viewed in the same way? I think for a lot of people it will, but I think times have moved on from there, and I think the Pan America launching, and because there's been such a huge run up to this Revolution Max engine, I think people have got used to the idea now. Both sides of the pond, whether you're in the United States or Canada or South America, wherever you're from, or whether if you're from Europe or other parts of the world, I think everybody's got used to this thing. Well, actually, Harley Davidson are not just producing, air-cooled or twin-cooled engines now. They're producing more. They're looking to the future. It's interesting, isn't it, that under the previous CEO, it was always about many roads or more roads. Then the new CEO comes in and says, no, we're going to scrap all that, get rid of that. But we're kind of still doing the same thing, aren't we, really? Sarge, hello, good afternoon. My son is taking his bike test this year. He's going to buy an Indian Scout, not Harley, and definitely not this new one. Well, I got to say, the Indian Scout, I think it's a great bike, great looking bike as well. I love those. Front tyre, one size too big. Bruce. I could not agree more. Yeah, absolutely. So I was totally looking at Indian. Yeah, I think a lot of people are. And that's the thing. They're coming on strong. They cannot be ignored by Harley Davidson. They cannot be ignored. Can this match them in that middle ground? That for those Indian bikes that are kind of liquid cooled, they're sort of bar hoppery type. They're not the Taurus, but can it compete? Possibly can. Here we go. Looking at single seat, it's not a distance. Yeah, I mean, look, it'd be interesting to see. Let's get back onto the website here. Let's have a look at it. I mean, look, you got a little pack, travel pack on there. It'd be interesting to see what the accessories are. Lots of people don't like these kind of mag wheels. Well, they're not really mag wheels. They're almost like tubes. Welding in circumference, aren't they, around the main hub there, overlapping, almost like really thick spokes. Let us know in the comments there what you would call that style of wheel. It's spoked, obviously, but it's big, fat, chunky spoked. Yeah, interesting one, that one. See, I think this is a really nice profile here. But it is very much sports performance cruiser type, isn't it? It's very much of the same arch motorcycle, the same as the Ducati DFL, not at that same level in terms of performance, of course, but it's that kind of thing. But look, if this bike can do 135 or whatever it is miles per hour, it's looking good here. Look, we're talking about 125 newton meters of torque. What they're saying, a weight of shipped is 221 kilos. Running order is 228. You'd have to do the maths. What that is in pound? Was it 502 pounds, something like that? It's got Bluetooth connectivity, moving maps, navigation. Cornering rider safety enhancers, including ABS and traction control. That's the RDRS, essentially. Selectable and customizable rider modes. What was it? Rain, sport, and road mode. All LED lighting. Nice to see. Adjustable power, a performance suspension, cruise control. I'm a little bit interested why there was that. Ground clearance, rake, trail, wheelbase. These tires here, 160 at the front at 70, 180, 70 at the rear. It's an R17 at the front and R16 at the rear. They're both rated a 73 and a 77 V rating, which is a higher velocity, the higher speed rating. They're using Dunlop. The Dunlop, so I thought they were using another type of tyre. Dunlop Harley Davidson series. Now, this could be in the UK they're using that tyre. Let us know in the comments if where you are in the world, if actually they're using different types of tyres. They're not using the Dunlops. Maybe they're using Michelin or whatever they're using. So here we go. This new Waimoto, this new bike sounds like a Scout competitor with cheap technology. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that going on. I think they're really targeting that market as well. Check out the new parts. There's a new collection called Wild One. What love these names that here. And there's a middle controls kit as well. Here we go. Let me just get rid of that volume down. That one. I do like the Fat Bob. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people. It's grown on a lot of people that Fat Bob, hasn't it? Here we go. My son says the only thing missing off the Indian Scout is Harley Bad cheeky boy. Yeah. The bracket for the rear light is ugly. Fernandion, hello, thank you. Look, I've got to say, I'm kind of with you there, but you know what? This is no different from a lot of these other bikes that are doing this kind of thing now. And this isn't, I'm not just talking about the Arch. I actually haven't looked at the Arch, but the Ducati Diaval. But lots of bikes are doing this kind of rear light bracket now. Lots of adventure bikes, lots of European bikes, Japanese bikes. There's quite a few operating with this on lots of different styles of bikes as well. Bruce, here we go. Front disc pattern. Interesting elements. Yeah, let me have a quick look at that afterwards. And Bernard, hello. Same tires in Canada as the Dunlops, right? Okay, thank you for that. Okay, let's have a look at that front disc pattern. Yeah, that is a bit. I wonder if there's a picture of that. Let's have a look at the drivetrain, gear, chassis, front forks, wheel types. Okay, so the wheels at the front, they are aluminium cast. It doesn't say that. I mean, brake caliper type, front radial mounted monoblock 4-piston caliper, rear floating single piston. So it's a 4-piston. 4-piston front caliper, 1 single piston rear caliper. I would have liked to have seen a 2-piston rear caliper at least. People are asking why only put a single disc at the front. We had the same discussions about the Sport Glide and the Softail range. I ride that. People saying it's a Sport Glide. It's a sportier model, apparently. It's just the name, isn't it? But why not have a dual disc front setup like you got on the Fat Bob, like you got on the Low Ride Rest and everything like that? And, again, I think they've missed a trick here. You got the Sportster S. This is supposed to be the signature model, isn't it? The signature model. 22 minutes to go, by the way, guys, until the live launch commences. Why have they only got a single disc at the front? I know they detuned the engine, got 121 horsepower, whatever it is. But do you know what? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that was a good way to go there myself. Let's have a quick look at the electrics. Yeah, lights. Okay, as per country regulation, all LED headlight, low and high beam with signature position, all LED tail stop light with a signature tail lighting. Gauges, yeah, the gauges, infotainment, screen size, type, TFT, Bluetooth connectivity for your phone, whatever. Lots of different languages from all over. Interesting here, some of these languages. I don't know. I mean, look, how many of these bikes would be sold in Vietnam? I don't know. Unless you're Vietnamese, living abroad, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, you tell me. I actually don't know. A Chinese simplified traditional, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see where this bike comes from as well for the European market. Let's say, will it come from Thailand or will it come from the US? Interesting. I got an email from one of the viewers, one of you guys actually. There's a bit of a delay in his Pan America coming, and he got the paperwork through the other day or something. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said it's coming from Thailand. I was like, oh. I hadn't realized that the Pan America was coming from Thailand as well. I thought it was only coming from the United States. I wonder if this Sportster S is going to be exactly the same way. I hadn't realized that Thailand was producing all motorcycles. I thought it was only a select few that they were producing for effectively the European market to get around that that import tax tariff, debacle that was going on. Joris, here we go. I must say I do like the design. Yeah, do you know what? I'm kind of looking at it a little bit more. I'm looking at this. Let's have a look at some of these pictures, shall we? I'm looking at it a little bit more, and I'm wondering, do you know what? That doesn't look too bad. I think it's going to be a little bit low. Yeah, but that's the style. That's what it's supposed to be. Whether the accessories for it, let's look at this and make it your own. Let's have a look at that, shall we? There we go. Like we got some Wild One Rider foot pegs. Here we go. So whoever mentioned this in the chat earlier on, thanks for that. Wild One HDMC. I like this block lettering here. HDMC. I do like that. Oval style lock and fuel cap. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got engine guard. Yeah, I think if you start putting engine guards on this bike, I don't think it's going to look too great. Axle nut covers. Oh look, you got a passenger pillion seat as well here as well. Doesn't look up to much, I've got to say, but again, I don't think this is. I agree. I don't think this is for the long haul. Got a little tail bag, passenger backrest kit. Yeah, no, I think if you start putting a back seat on it and a rear passenger rest on it, I think it really will ruin the lines. I like this quick release compact windshield for it. Do you know what? That kind of makes it a little bit more cafe racer for me, and I kind of like that. Do you remember the XLCR? Back in early 80s, one of my favorite, 82, isn't it? Or was it 78? 78, I think it was. I think it's one of my favorite Harley Davidsons of all time. And some of those, a couple of those bikes had little cafe style fairing on it. I think that's a little bit of a cheeky nod to that as well. This is evolution to revolution, isn't it? So the evolution of the Sportster, and possibly taking accent pieces from, other Sportster variants of the past as well, and, putting it all in one big package here. Yeah, interesting. Let's, the LED headlight there looks a bit interesting there as well. Let me just get back to that. Oops, this one here. Yeah, the LED headlight. It looks a little small. It might be. I know you can't really see that, but judge it by that, I say. But because LED lights can be really powerful as they are, but they just look a little bit slim. A Wild One. It's got a nice little selection of accessories here. I've got to say, yeah, it's all right. So you got Wild One rider foot pegs and passenger foot pegs as well. I mean, let's have a look here. Hold on. So let's have a look. Here's $13,995 here in the UK. I mean, that's what it's looking in that pearl white configuration here, or color scheme. If you look at this front mudguard again, I will say that look at that front mudguard right there, and you'll see that front tire. If you ride a Sport Glide or a Street Bob or anything like that right now with a very short mudguard, you'll know that the issues that you have with it, all pelting the front of the bike. And this is going to be, so don't be surprised that you're going to have to buy some kind of grill, for your radiator, that kind of thing. I do like this little belly pan here. I'm just wondering if this is a standard fit or whether it's something you're going to have to add on to it as well. But from this side, I quite like the look of it. I'm just trying to think. Okay, yeah, you can see here, this is where the forward controls are. So there is a picture on here where somebody is riding it. Let me see. And this picture here, you can see that is a picture with them with the mid-mounted controls. I'm convinced of it. The actual stock bike will have forward-mounted controls, which are a little bit over here. I'm pretty sure of it. I could be wrong, but let's. But look, let us know. Let us know what you think of that. So let's just get back. We've got another 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop that screen share on that side. I'm just going to get that back again for Chrome. July reveal. There we go. Done. So here we go. It is another 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes until we'll find out what they. I just hope it's a good virtual launch. That's what I do. I just hope it's a good launch. Yeah, old school Jerry, yeah, 1970 to 1979 XLCR, one of my favorite Harleys of all time. I've always had it. It's always been in my top 10 bikes of all time, and it's always been very close to number one or number two for me. Nick, I think this is going to be a home run. Do you know what it could be? It'll be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how people react to this, what the market reacts to this, what potential buyers react to this. You're also, yeah, you like the design? I do. You'd be. Here we go. You'd be surprised. Vietnam is really a motorcycle country. Absolutely right. That's not what I meant at all. What I meant was that on those countries like Vietnam, all those, a lot of countries in that area, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember the modern names for these countries, but Borneo, these kind of Cambodia, whatever. They're all into very small mopeds, very small bikes. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. The mode of transport of choice, because of the amount of money, the disposable income that lots of people have. It's very small CC bikes. That's all I meant. And I don't think, really big bikes, would really go into there. But I could be wrong. Here we go. The rider's leg will rest against the pipes. People put down sweat pipes on it. Well, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that would work, especially because it's going to be quite a low bike anyway. Possibly. I mean, that's going to be in the future, of course. It'd be interesting to see how much heat comes off these pipes and how people react to it. And look, it's too modern. No history in this bike. Well, there's no history in this bike because it's a brand new bike, isn't it? And it's a brand new engine, so there's going to be no history in this. I take your point, but I think we've got to give it a chance, right? Surely we've got to give this a chance. We got to, we at least got to take it out for a ride. Get some good feedback from riders. In the US, nobody keeps stock pipes. Well, not many people do all around the world, I've got to say, apart from me, of course. But look, but the stock pipes, that is an old way of thinking. That is an air-cooled way of thinking, because in the liquid-cooled world, actually, lots of people do stick with stock pipes. There isn't really an issue about sound, and it's a different sound profile anyway. So what you might find is that people do add different exhaust pipes onto this low the Sportster S, but I don't think the shape is going to change so much. I don't think the style is going to change so much. Maybe the tone. It might just change the tone a little bit. As you said, detached windshield and cruise control. My wife wants to look at it to trade in the Sport Glide. No, don't trade in the Sport Glide. Get this as well, but don't trade in the Sport Glide. And force me to get a tool pack to compensate for a losing back slot. Yeah. Excuse me, I need that. Getting a bit hoarse here. Look, I will ride one for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people. If I get the chance to ride it, I will. Stock Media, hello. Can't wait to see an Indian killer. Well, I'm not sure I want to see an Indian killer, but I think some good, healthy competition there in the marketplace is going to be really good for this, isn't it? Really good for this to see. Michael Rose, hello, how are you? Leave it to the others. Just build them properly, like Kevin Baxter. Well, let's just see. Let's just see what comes out of it. If it's like the Pan America, early reports will be that it'll be a very good bike. Will this kind of engine be compatible with this kind of riding style, this motorcycle style, with the power that this engine absolutely has? Will it be suitable for this bike, this style? Why didn't they give us the full power version? I think they could have done that. Maybe there's always room in the future to release another type of Sportster, you know, the Sportster ST or something like that. You know, that's the full power version. Look, that happens all the time in motorcycling world, in car worlds as well. You know, you'll get a lower power version, then you'll get like a signature top up, if you like, when they just release all the power as well. Look, that's what essentially custom builders, you know, performance tuners have been doing for years as well. They just give you that, they unlock just that a little bit more. They add a few extra components on it to give you a little bit more. There we go. Where is the live feed coming from? Well, it's coming directly from the Harley Davidson website. You know, as I said, you check in the description below, but you go to the Harley Davidson website, you sign up to it, and it's another 9 minutes to go, and you'll get a full version. So what I'm going to do, I say it is this is the screen you'll see. 9 minutes and 36 seconds coming at you. Come in at you. Eduardo, hello. Any idea for the price of this bike? Right, yes, it is. So for the UK, it is £13,995. For for Europe, I think it was 15,400 or something in euros, and in the US, I think it was 14,900 and something dollars. Here we go. Right. So, Jack, the cost of new bikes will rise significantly. May as well buy a low rider S for that price. But you won't get the power of it. You won't get the power of the. I mean, I don't know what the horsepower rating is on the low rider S, in all fairness. Let us know, what is a horsepower rating on the low rider S. But I'm with you a little bit. I'm with you. I think, you know, if you want to convert people, I'm not sure this is a price to convert people. You know, I could be wrong. I saw something about problems with the VVT on the engine. Have you seen it? Look, as I've said in previous, I've heard things as well. In previous videos and live streams as well. Brand new engine, okay, Revolution Max engine, or brand new to market, I should say. So brand new to market. It's been in development for a long time. Brand new to market. You're gonna have first year problems. There's no doubt. You're gonna have first year problems. I think it's a nice modern motorcycle, or nice modern model. Very attractive and aggressive. Look nice for new generations. I like to listen to the engine. I would as well. I think it's going to be a different tone to the Pan America, but I would not say it's going to be totally different. Here we go. It won't look right with 8 hangers. Well, does any bike look right with 8 hangers? Ooh, oh, don't shoot the messenger, honestly. Dutch price, 18,450 euros. Well, that's interesting, because somewhere else said, I think it's in Belgium, so there's 15,000. I do know that in Holland there is an extra import tax. Is that correct? That's why your prices are always substantially higher than the rest of Europe. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Somebody else told me. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, there we go. It starts at 13,995 in the UK. So what we got here, another 6 minutes to go. What you will see when it comes 6 minutes, I will put on this headset here so I can still speak to you and hear you. And hear what's going on as well. I'm going to have to be a bit careful about the... let me know if you want me to put this on so you can all watch it through this feed, or if you're watching it yourselves on another website or whatever. Let us know, because I could do this kind of thing or this kind of thing, and just, you know, I might put it as a little small thing there as well, so you know we can all see it as well. But anyway, it's another 6 minutes. Let's just see what happens there. But now, these are brand new headsets, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering, because you don't usually see me with this. Got them, link in the description if you're interested in audio stuff. But I've got to say that the price of these, unlike motorcycles or motorcycle parts, very, very inexpensive for what they are, for studio grade. Really good. And I'll stop knocking them on the computer now as well. Sarge, I'll watch yours. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's hopefully I won't get penalised by YouTube for it. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they say. Here we go. Michael Rose. Here we go. Oh, so my Motorrad. Hello there. Hello, mate. How are you? I signed up but have no link. Oh, that's interesting. I think when when I signed up, it says, "Do you want to go to it there and then?" Interestingly, I have noticed this when I've had to sign up about 10 times just to keep on getting the link to it, because every time they send you a reminder email about it, it just takes you back into the sign-in page. So there we go. Sarge, you're watching it with me. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Had Gen 1 DFL. Gen 2 with apes, now low rider, think street road glider. There we go. I'm at work. There we go. I have to watch it with you, watch it by myself on the phone. Can't do both. Well, I'll leave that up to you. I mean, if you want to hear my commentary and what I think of it and what everybody else thinks about it in the chat, stay with me. Go figure HC, absolutely right. But they did this in their live launch earlier in the year. It was a bit cumbersome to get onto the site. I thought. So we've got another 4 minutes to go before this starts off. Costs about the same as a Softail standard in Australia. Yeah, I think because they have upped the prices all over, haven't they? So Softail standard, yeah, that looks about right. But this is. I had a quick video yesterday, quick live show about the price of technology, or the value of technology, and how much technology a lot of motorcycles are coming out with, and how much we're actually paying for it. And you could argue that this has got a lot more technology than the existing range or existing models from Harley Davidson, but you're not really paying that much more. The Pan America, I think they wanted to charge a lot more for that Pan America, but they knew they couldn't charge much more of it because the market, the competitors, people would be looking at it and saying, well, there's no way we're going to pay you so much more for this bike when we've got all these other well-established adventure bikes, So I think this is a similar kind of thing. I think they had to hit the market as opposed to what they really wanted to charge for this bike. I think Harley Davidson, they'd be looking at a £20,000 bike in their mind, what they think this should be. Not in my mind, but in their mind. Had to keep signing up. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? But I say, hopefully another 2 minutes. License plate tail light bracket is total. Yeah, it's not, but it's in line with what other manufacturers are doing with their bikes. I don't particularly like that myself. I don't like that wraparound thing around. You can get tail tidies and stuff like that. How easy it would be to get a tail tidy for this setup in the future, I don't know. Lewis 8 table. I may look at one in a year or two when I need a lighter bike. Yeah, look, I think it's very wise to wait a year or two on these bikes as well. Let them iron out all the issues with the Revolution Max engine. Let's just see what the market is for these new bikes as well. Let's just see, where they're going to go with it. With this Sportster range. Let's just see if they're going to bring other models in or other bikes in, with smaller CC engines or smaller CC variations of this bike as well. Let's have a think. Right, it's another minute to go. Another minute for this new reveal. Let's just hope it isn't a total disaster. Let's just hope that that it's got something to give us, a bit of meat on the bones. We've kind of already know what's gone on, don't we? We kind of already know, the specs, let's say. Let's just see from Harley Davidson's perspective what they think is so special about this bike. Why is it the evolution to the revolution? Is it a real revolution for Harley Davidson? Some would say yes with this liquid cooled adventure. Others would say no. Old school Jerry here. I think Pan America is priced right. This Sportster is overpriced. Well, I think you're right. As I said, I agree with you. I said this earlier. Pan America, I think, is priced right for what it is. But the Sportster is overpriced for what it is. Maybe. I mean, I could be wrong. It might be another LiveWire disaster. Well, now that the LiveWire is a new company, and they've brought the price down to be in line with other electric bikes, maybe that's the right way to go. Right, 20 seconds it is, guys. 20 seconds it is. Let's just see, shall we? Right, keep your chats coming. Let's have a look. I'm going to put this on here, put this on there. There we go. Let's just see what it says. Oh, bit of wait there. Has anybody else got anything? Not really getting anything on my side here. Just whirring away. Is anybody else getting the live launch? All I've got is a spinning wheel on both of my screens right now here. Not really long. Is this the Harley Davidson that we all know and love? Is this the Harley Davidson that promised so much but deliver so little? I don't know. It could be just a technical glitch. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're thinking in the background, do you know what? Oh no, we're not ready for this live launch. We've only had 3 years to prepare for it. Yes, everybody else is getting a spinning wheel. I don't know what's going on. Check your own feeds if you can. Check your own feeds. Let's see if there is an issue. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do this one here. No, spinning wheel there. Let me just check this one here. And no, spinning wheel there. It's a spinning wheel. Okay, well, look, let's just, it's spinning wheel everywhere. There we go. So I love this. I love this. Where is it? Here we go. Bruce, upside down spinning wheel down under. Love it. You see, who said us bikers haven't got a sense of humour? You're there. We go. Look, Pasita Sludge. You're checking the who said something about checking the YouTube channel. Yeah, nothing there as well. Maybe they're rethinking the price. I love this. Here we had what goes up must come down. Spinning wheel goes round and round. I love it. Oh, everybody's got the spinning wheel. Can we believe this, people? That we wait all this time? I've almost lost my voice talking about the Sportster S and the pros and cons and what's going to happen. And is it the right price point? And everybody, it's a countdown. I was giving you the countdown. You cannot mock me. For trying to inject a bit of drama for you to get the excitement flowing, the creative juices flowing, and then all of a sudden we get a spinning wheel. Great, a spinning wheel. Come on, HD, Chris Blake says. Come on, HD. I could not agree more. I've done my best. I feel like the announcer at the Super Bowl saying, come on, let's a big fight. Come on, let's get this fight going. And then all of a sudden nobody turns up and somebody comes out with a little clipboard, and pushes their glasses back and said, excuse me, sorry, we seem to have a bit of a problem. Look, yeah, Sarge, this happened at the last major global launch. All I got was a spinning wheel. I had to bin it after 15 minutes. Pros for keeping positive. Do you know what? I had problems with last of that, and I had to keep on doing that as well. Let me just refresh this as well. Maybe it's an issue. No, it's still doing it. Let us know where you're from. Go to YouTube. Is YouTube showing it? Maybe too. If you go on the website, you can actually see some specs. Yes, on the website, it's all we've been running through the whole specs of this the whole time, Pietro. We've been seeing that we've been going through the whole price, everything, the costs in Europe, in Italy, where you are, Pietro, I believe so. Forza Italia, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's. Here we go. Adrian, so Adnan, busy doing burnouts. They are possibly. Uh, Here we go. Derek Long, I had to come here with hopes this thing would play. Oh crikey! I would love to tell you. Do you know what this? It's my problem. I'm sorry. It's my problem. I'm sorry for not bringing you the news, but there we go. So I'm back, guys. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. There we go. Crikey, that all got. I think I got excited with myself. Right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to try and share this again and see if it's a problem with the site or whether it's just me. No, I think it's just. I think it's just the site. There we go. Look at that. Crikey. Let's do that one. There we go. And let's do that one. We want to get rid of that. Do that. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Yes, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if everybody's all okay. Let me just check the audio here. Yep, everybody can hear me okay. That's fine on that, I'm sure. Got the same spinning wheel. It has spun more than the V-Rod's back wheel in the wet so far. I love that. That is funny. But there we go. Right, let's I just don't understand why this is happening to Harley Davidson. It had the same problem, didn't they? They had the same problem before, back in January when it was at live launch, and you're making us wait here. You're making us wait, and you kind of, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, it's beyond the joke now, isn't it? It's beyond the joke. So here we go. 1 a.m. the Australia time to go to bed. Bruce, I don't blame you. It's all on the website now. Wait a minute. Conspiracy theory here. Conspiracy theory. Hold on. Wait a minute before you go to bed. Is it that they can't be bothered to do the live virtual launch, so they've just put it all out on the website right now? Have they added just a big refusal and said, right, that's it, bad enough, we'll forget about it? Yeah, maybe it could be something like that. This is Harley showing off new tech on the bike. Well, I've got to say this. They made a big play with this new tech, this new direction of the company going forward with the Livewire company, all their electronic tech on that and all that kind of stuff. And this new Revolution Max engine, look, they're looking to the future, and they can't even get a live launch sorted out. They can't even get their website sorted out properly. I mean, for goodness sake. Look, there is a video on Twitter of the bike. Yeah, look, we ridiculous. This is Harley showing off new tech. Yeah, HT tech really bad. Oh, crikey. I tell you what I want to do. I'm going to see if I can look at Harley Davidson YouTube and see if they've got anything on there as well. Here we go. Okay, so they've just got that quick promo video of that 15-second thing from there on the YouTube. That's all they've got. Nothing else. Let me just do this. See if I can refresh that. still spinning wheel, still both screens. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some cards out. Let's play a bit of poker, shall we? Well, let's turn this into a poker channel. Yeah, us bikers, we like a little poker run. So, look, I've got a full house. There we go. Unlike Harley Davidson, who basically bust, haven't they? They've shot their load, and that's it. Everybody's called them out, and that's it. Forget it. Here we go. Marketing department must be freaking out. I think they must be. You've made the world wait here. You've made the media wait. I'm not classing myself as the media here, by the way, but by extension, us on social medias, on YouTube channels, on whatever. I don't know if anybody else is doing this kind of thing. I do a lot of sports casting as well, so this kind of thing we kind of do anyway. So I thought I'd actually do this for this as well, a watch along. But it relies on the feed coming. It relies on them being on time and not trying to be, fashionably late to the party. I mean, what has gone on? Here we go. Was HD cyber attacked by the Japanese? I don't think it's the Japanese who are going to be cyber attacking Harley Davidson. That's for sure. We can't really talk about that. My Done Life, I wasn't surprised the name. The price was disappointing. It's 2K less than the Pan America, right in the middle of the Softail line. I think it should have been a little bit cheaper myself. I think it should have been a little bit cheaper. Or what I think they should have done, and this is my take on this Sportster S, okay? I think they should have come in at the Sportster S at the very price that they've said. But at the very same time, they should have said, right, there are other variants of this. There is a 950cc, there's a 750cc, whatever. There's a 500cc variation of this bike in slightly different styles, and they'll be matching, a downward ladder or downscale of pricing to match. But look, somebody's saying refresh already. It's not me, honestly. It's not me. Or is it me? I don't know. Is it me? Is it me? No, it's not me. Sorry, Bobby. I wish I could say it's me, but it's not. Look. Santos, thanks for posting this. I'm at work and watch all tonight. I want one. I think quite a few people will want this as well. I think it will attract a lot of people. I think it will attract a lot of people. As I already said, will it attract people who ride other brands, who ride other liquid-cooled engines from other brands? Will they want this? Interesting. Maybe they are debating whether to call it Sportster. Maybe they've watched my this live show. Maybe they're thinking, do you know what? We cannot release this. Revelator Alf he's too on the money. Look at the people in the chat who are giving all this, positive criticism or positive feedback, some good information comes. Maybe we can't release this. Maybe we're a bit unprepared. Maybe we've got to come out with a little bit more. Maybe I missed the stream. You didn't miss anything. That's the problem. You haven't missed anything. There's been me harping on for over an hour now, and I'm waiting for this Harley Davidson for the last 12 minutes for them to start their live launch, and they haven't. I mean, what's going on? Why the video doesn't work, I don't know. Ask Harley Davidson. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss it? No, you haven't. Well, I don't think you have. We haven't. We're waiting. We don't know. Why less horsepower than the Pan America? Very good question. Again, I personally think they've made a mistake there. I personally think they should have had a full pack. If you're going to, I said exactly the same thing when they brought out the Low Rider S as a mid-season model, with the M8 engine. And I said, look, they've made a big mistake here. You shouldn't be putting a Low Rider S with a 114 engine. If at the time they wanted this to be a signature model, something that is wow, shock, or, that kind of thing, they should have gone in with a much higher spec engine. For me, much higher spec engine. And I said what I would say at the time. And I think this is the same thing. I think they should have said, right, we're going to shock everybody, wow everybody with what's going on. And you know what? We're going to have the full 150 horsepower engine on there. Or, you know what? I would have accepted slightly detuned, let's say 140 horsepower. But no. But there we go. Right. Wet weight, yes. 228 is at 502 pounds, whatever. Here we go. I can see the film on YouTube, Harley Davidson. Yeah, you can see the film, the 15-second film. Is that right? Something, maybe a little more. They've also got the film on the website. Let me just have a look at the website and I'll show you again. Right at the bottom. Oops, sorry. What the launch film? Let's have a look, see what it says here. Now, if you click on the launch film at the bottom of the website of the Sportster S, it brings you back to this whirring screen. So yeah, it's not very good. Okay, hold on. It is you. I'm watching it in Wigan. Are you? Oh, okay. It is me then. I don't know what's going on. Let me just refresh that. See what's going on. Is it me? It's obviously me. Let us know. Guess it's not. It's working on your phone. Do you know what? Some people are getting it. Some people are not getting it. How weird is this? How weird is this? Some people are. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's coming on. It's coming on. Right, hold on.
Love the restoration, the fact that they preserved it for riders from all around the world to come and enjoy and spend time here. Pretty awesome.
Pilgrimage back to the roots.
Heritage is so powerful and it's really unique to our company, which I'm so proud of.
Yeah, well, and it's so great to combine it, going back to the roots and then launching a new bike, which has a whole history on its own. Actually, I was looking at the dates. If you think about it, they left for America in 1857. The first Sportster came to market in 1957, exactly 100 years later. And now we're here over 60 years later and are launching the next Sportster. It's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean, it's,
In the late 50s, when Sportster was born, it was considered a giant killer. It was a super bike. Whether you're on the flat track, drag strip, or you're on the street, I mean, it was a real performance motorcycle. The legacy of Sportster for Harley Davidson, it's a really important part of our story. We can look at some of these analogs to the automotive world, like Mustang, Camaro. Sportster is one of those names that's actually been around, longer than some of those names. It is a name that's instantly recognizable.
When you look at the longevity of Sportster from 1957 to today, it's unmatched and unparalleled in the motorcycling world that one model has such staying power. And that's what's made it so special.
It's staying with the times, it's getting ahead of the times. That's what the Sportster's done down through its history. For 1957, it starts with one model for that year. And the biggest change is overhead valves. And so it's going to provide a lot more power, which is what riders were asking for. It's what dealers were asking for.
The name Sportster is really synonymous with the general use of that bike. It was a small, nimble, powerful bike.
There was a strong demand for it in the market. We were looking at low-priced, high-performing, lightweight motorcycles. And once the Sportster is released, it's really incredible to see where it goes from there.
In the first year that Sportsters were out, Gerald McGovern campaigned on a new 1957 Sportster and won the Jack Pine Endurance Run, which is one of the most brutal motorcycling events. And so Harley Davidson couldn't help but really make some noise about this. One of the more unique uses happens in which the LA Coliseum is really kind of used as a hill climb. One of the seating sections was outfitted with a ramp to get this thing up to the top, just to show the power of the Sportster model.
One of the most important things about the Sportster engine was how versatile it was. You could literally take this engine, you could put it in a road bike, you could put it in a Daytona racer bike, you could put it in scrambles or flat track racing, you could put it in a hill climb, you could put it in a land speed record bike. And it would outperform all the competition in all of those different forms.
Yeah, but what about now?
One monumental point in Sportster history really is the Sportster Streamliner. In 1970, a group of 4 guys developed this kind of long cigar-looking rocket run on a Sportster engine.
The first time you look at it, some people might say, that's a motorcycle. It is. You're talking about a Sportster engine going 265 miles an hour and basically kind of crushes the land speed record for its time.
A new motorcycle world land speed record.
The company's always looking at how can we take this thing that's great and make it even greater. So technology-wise, the bike is always moving ahead.
And now today, we have the birth of the Revolution Max platform. So you're going from evolution to revolution.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, okay, so we've had the
With
history.
Sportster S,
let's talk about
we
this
knew we
new
could put the
version.
sport back in Sportster because it's time. We knew we had the engineering prowess to do it with the RevMax powertrain.
Totally agree.
The birth of this architecture. It's really knocked down a bunch of fences that we had. Kind of untied our hands in terms of what we can do with form factor, what we can do with performance.
Yeah.
You put the right people in the room and you get the right feedback from the customers. You get the right kind of technology and the right kind of thinking, the right kind of mindset. Keep the soul in all the decisions, and you get motorcycles like this that push all the boundaries and deliver that Harley Davidson experience.
Knowing that we had this opportunity to, think about, well, what is the next generation of Sportster like? Our designers, they go to work. They begin to create all kinds of, wild spectrums from staying safe to the traditional to the extremes.
We wanted to make sure the first one was wild. It was going to kind of turn heads. We're going to challenge our internal standards. The design team just said, well, let's just turn the dials up to 11.
The design was intended to push the limits of what people think when they hear the term Sportster.
Yeah.
How can we really push everything about this to be as irrational and cool as possible?
Anything that's easy isn't as rewarding. We had a lot of freedom. We knew there was nothing ever like it.
I agree.
So there was nothing that was constraining our imagination.
It's crazy to me, but of all the designs that we've worked on, this is one where there was the least amount of change from the design mock-up to the final production model.
Yeah.
I think when people take a look for the first time at Sportster S, while it's going to look very different, it's also going to look very familiar.
We wanted to stitch in some iconic elements of the design from different generations of Sportster. The tail section, XR750, the fat 16-inch front wheel, that's 48. If you look at what our customers do with Sportster, customization, you can have the same experience you've had with past Harley Davidsons in terms of making it your own. You can fully kit out the new RevMax family with all kinds of great parts and accessories.
For this bike to really find its way into the modern era, we really gave ourselves a ton of freedom with regards to technology. The ride modes are amazing. It totally changes the personality of the bike.
We have this really beautiful 4-inch round TFT display. It's Bluetooth enabled and allows for us to have turn-by-turn navigation and no longer having to worry about the traditional Sportster method of like taping your directions to your tank and trying your best to remember how to get there. But it also has all the upgraded riding safety enhancements, having cornering enhancement, ABS, allow for a better riding experience.
Nope, it's right there.
It's just like Sportster should be, and it's completely unlike any other Sportster you've ever ridden.
I think it will.
This motorcycle rides exactly the way that it looks. It's such an exciting, thrilling motorcycle to ride. If the 57 Sportster was a giant killer, then this is an apex predator. I mean, this thing is the ultimate evolution of Sportster. This will surprise a lot of people out on the street at just how competitive this motorcycle is in some of these performance metrics.
It's just pissed off and ready to wreak havoc. Just an absolutely exhilarating feel.
How are you?
We tuned
the
delivered performance to be more torque-based. So stoplight to stoplight,
I
you're going to
agree.
be able to crank it and beat your buddy to the next one.
There's just so much to unpack in terms of what the bike delivers from a performance standpoint. 121 horsepower,
94 foot-pounds of torque, 12-to-1 compression ratio, and a peak RPM of 9,500.
500 pounds, which feels just incredibly light, maneuverable on the road.
Every ounce of power is just a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was fun charging into some of those corners and grabbing a handful and coming out of the corner.
Perfect bike for twisted roads of Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun.
I can't wait for people to throw a leg over this bike and really experience the performance that this bike has. It's so agile and it's a real beast. It really is. I mean, just every gear, there's a surprise waiting for you now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like when we were riding today, I was reflecting on so much, you know, the heritage, my family, Scotland, but what I'm really reflecting on now, after getting off that
that's what they sound like,
is, you know, we're in exciting times for Harley Davidson, the Revolution Max 1250 and the new Sportster, and what's to come. It's
totally
very exciting.
Totally agree.
It was a great day. It was great to experience it with you, the history of your ancestors, a new bike, and I think it's time to have a whiskey now.
I love that.
37, I think. 37. I think. All the specs are on the website.
The future for the Sportster family
totally different.
Looks incredibly bright based on this motorcycle. And we've got some really cool things up our sleeves. We always do.
Yep.
There will be future models that will definitely tap into some of the more classic form factor of Sportster.
I like this.
We're really not adding
already
the next
thinking.
chapter to that story, but we're adding the first chapter to the next book.
Yeah. Well, that looks it. I think that's it, guys. I think that is it. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Let me have put this back on. There we go. Can you hear me? Get rid of that. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah, so we are back. It is done and dusted. What do we think of that? First of all, let's think about what do we think of the bike? Do we think it's what do we think of it? Do we think it's good? Do we think it's bad? I don't know. Old school Joe, yeah, 34 degrees lean angle. Somebody asked that before. I guess sounds like a Ducati. I think it sounds like a liquid cooled engine. That's essentially what it sounds like, with kind of a bit of a tone to its exhaust tone. All the boomers on the forums will hate it, possibly. Yeah. Typical American company. Why be the point when you can waffle? I agree. They did this on the launch as well, and they seem to do this on every bike. We all know what the history of the Sportster is. We all know, how the kind of history of the company is, but we're not interested in that. We're actually interested in this new bike. We're interested in finding out about this Sportster S. What can it give you? And I just, it's kind of frustrating when they do this, when, think, well, actually just get on with it. Just give us the specs, give us some real good, something that we could hold on to, get our teeth into. But there we go. Sorry, go Alpha. Signing. Why don't they talk about the bike? Alpha sighing when they do talk about the bike, bruh. What do you want to hear? I'll tell you what I want to hear. I'll tell you exactly what I want to hear. When they're not talking about the bike, I actually want to hear about the bike. And when they are talking about the bike, I want us to give us some good, proper information, not some fanciful stuff. That's what I want to hear. There we go. Joris, I've seen it and I like it. Can't wait to see it in real life. I think this is going to be the interesting thing when you see it in real life. I've got to say, when I saw the two of them riding it on that, nice touch having it in Scotland, I got to say, with those roads. Nice touch having Ewan McGregor in there as well. I think they've done a bit of a deal because they did the TV program with the long way up with the Life Wires, of course. So I think that's a nice little touch. I think it's nice that they didn't have Jason Momoa on there. Get somebody else in. Not against Jason Momoa. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him, but somebody nice, somebody different. But I just thought when they were sat on there, the bikes looked long and square, and then you just had somebody perched on top. It just seemed to be a little bit, when you've got the rider on there, it didn't seem to be a good fit, if you know what I mean. Was that me? I mean, let me know if I'm wrong there. But it just seemed to be something. Look, Jack, you just missed the entire video. Look, in a nutshell, they gave a lot of history of the old Sportster, then eventually got into the new Sportster, and then they gave some vague information. Really, it's almost about how it feels, what made them feel like, rather than what we should be expecting from it. And they gave us some, graphics of it riding around. Essentially, go watch the video. You can watch it again. It's right on there now. I just think that this bike, once you sat the rider on top of it, you kind of looks very boxy, and you perch the rider on top, and you almost want there to be more of a sink sat into the bike feeling. I think I would have thought if the bike was a little bit taller, at a lower riding seat, and you're sat into it more, a little bit more drag bike type feeling, with a forward riding stance, I think you would have had that more sportier feeling come from it. But that's just me, of course. That's just me. Yeah, the forward controls really throw me off in terms of the ergonomics. Yeah, should be mid or rear controls are standing. Yeah, there's something about that picture. That's why I was tutting. That's why I was kind of shaking my head, and I was flailing my arms. Some of the things that they were saying. It just didn't seem to be that good. It just didn't seem to be. It seemed to be, I think the bike looked okay by itself, but when you put the bike in, because it is, for me, it's always about bike and rider, right? It's how you feel about it, how you look on it. And I think certainly bigger, taller riders, I think they're going to be struggling on this bike. I think they're going to be struggling to feel comfortable on this bike. I think, yeah, definitely. Smaller riders, possibly. Yeah, some negative reactions coming out in the comments as well. I won't put those up, but you can imagine what's going on. Yeah, it looks plasticky. Yeah, it kind of does. People talking about, this is not the Sportster. It It's Sportster in name. It isn't. This is evolution to revolution, as I've said. It isn't. They're talking about this front tire. I mean, crikey. Again, I've already said this. If you want a sportier bike, you don't have a big, tractor tire, a truck tire on the front, do you? You have something a little bit more. With all respect intended, some of the people here will happily ride Harley into the ground. They have to stay modern. If you want an old bike, go buy one. I still have a Hooligan 883, not worried. Well, look, there is that, absolutely right. And I said this right at the start of the live stream. I said, will this appeal to the traditionalists? Will the traditionalists air-cooled engine riders, will they like this? I don't think they will. Will it attract new riders from other brands who are already riding liquid-cooled engines? Possibly. But I think on the strength of what we've just seen, on the strength of that, on the strength of the graphics, on the strength of the dimensions of the bike, of the pictures or the video footage of the rider on top of the bikes, they just didn't seem to be that comfortable on there. Now, it could be a totally different feeling once you're on that bike. It could be a totally different feeling. Of course it could. But it just didn't seem great. They were talking about, it's great to get these bikes in Scotland on the twisties and everything like that. I'm not so sure that you're going to tell me that there's a Sportster S that's going to be that good in the bends more than a lot of other bikes as well of this kind of style. I'm not so sure about it. But look, Sid Cycler, it's basically a Fat Barber Roadster, but I'm glad they're branching out too. Look, I totally agree. I've always said this about Harley Davidson. They need to move forward. I think they moved forward tremendously. They surprised a lot of people with the Pan America, no doubt. And I've ridden it, and it's a great bike, no doubt. It's whether this bike is going to have that same kind of reaction with people. And I think some people inevitably like it. I think some people won't. I think the proof is going to be when people see it in the flesh, as it were, see it in the dealerships and take it out for a ride. And I think that they will ride this bike and they'll find it a pleasurable ride. They'll like the power, but they won't like the sound. They won't like how it feels, possibly. So I think there's, and then ultimately it's going to come down to the looks of it, how it looks. And it just, when you stand next to it, or when I saw it, it just looked a little bit too square, too rectangular, I should say, with the rider sat on the middle. It just looked a bit wrong to me. But I could be wrong. Here we go. Yeah, Pan America is flying off showroom from the Motor and Technology is finally here. The bike will move. Definitely, the strength here is the engine. I've always said this. Forget about the Pan America. Forget about the low custom or the Bronx or the Sportster S. It's the engine. People just think about the engine. The engine is the future here, and not necessarily the bikes at which they're releasing right now. I think the Pan America's got some legs in it. I'm not sure that this has got any legs in it right now. I think they're going to have to tweak this a lot to get people to really start thinking about it. And I think when they start talking about the history of the Sportster and this, the beauty of the Sportster was this, that for me, the Sportster has always been pound for pound, inch for inch, centimeter for centimeter, possibly the best proportioned Harley Davidson that they've ever made. Possibly, right? I know that's open for debate, but I think so. So I think this is such a big change from Harley Davidson. Yes, for the Sportster. I don't think really trying to compare it as they were doing new with old and evolution, revolution or whatever, it just didn't seem to work. And I think you had a totally different feeling with the old Sportsters, and I don't think you're getting that with this as well. Slow guys, just an expensive V-Rod. Well, yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but how much is it in the USA? Was it 14,999? Yeah, this is pegged at the Indian Scout market, Bob and market. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean that's what they're looking at, just to really shore up that market. I think they are. Needs more retro. Needs something. I think needs something. Again, you've got to reserve judgment until you actually see this in the flesh and ride it as well. I want a new sports, but not that money. Time start making replacement frames for air-cooled Sportsters. Get rid of the Jedi frame. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I think a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, I really want this bike. It looks really interesting, but let's just see when it actually gets to the showrooms, and let's just see how people feel about it then." And then they compare an old sports or a newer version of the old Sportsters and this, and where they really want to go with it. I personally, and I've said this right at the start, I think that they should not have come out with this bike right now. I think they should have come out with the Bronx bike first of all, and use that as that sporty launch. Gone with the 1250 engine in that. Really, go for that. But anyway, I'm gonna have to close this here. I'm getting the sun right in my eyes now. That's it. Sorry about that, guys. But there we go. Look, here we go. You're still waiting for the soy glide. Here we go. Lots of comments coming in. Here we go. Bring back the street rod. My issue here, I get so much power and better sound from my 883 with the Hammer Performance kit, or less cost. I'm not sure you're getting more power, more performance. Well, you're probably definitely getting more better sound, no doubt. Has anyone said about the Sports 883 and 1200? Well, no, it's got nothing to do with the 883 and 1200. This is a totally new bike, isn't it? I'm signing off now. Just nice being here, and see you later. Keep it good work. Thank you, Joris. Thanks very much. Thank you for joining. The writings on the wall for air-cooled motor. I think, you know what? I'm not so sure about that, but I take your point that this is the future. This is the future of it. This is the future of Harley Davidson. This is the future. They've got to go forward. They've had to change their ways a little bit. I don't think air cooled is dead. Far from it. But I think if you're gonna bring out new technology and new engines, you've got to have a bike or a style of bike that it matches. I'm not sure that this is the bike for it. This chassis is the right thing for it. I could be wrong. It's an opinion at the end of the day. Lots of people out there, lots of you guys in the chat here right now are, Edward, hello. They'll discontinue it in 2 years, maybe three. 18,000 Canadian dollars for anyone watching from Canada. Wow. Okay. Why do they down tune the motor? I don't know. Really don't know. Good question. Possibly a bit too much power for this chassis. Possibly a bit too much power for this riding style that new people would have to get used to. Possibly just gives them a little bit of extra room if they want to add a special version of the Sportster S afterwards. As I said earlier on, right at the start of the stream, a Sportster ST, for example. Who knows? Well, has anyone said anything about the fate of the 883 1200? Well, all around Europe, for example, obviously Sportsters are not being sold anymore because they can't comply with emissions tests. Wherever you are in the world, I think in the US, they're still selling them. What would be the long-term future of them? They've already been talking about these for a long time, being totally discontinued. Is this new Sportster S? This is the future. I think this is what they want it to be. Will it be the only Sportster available? No, I don't think it will. Let me take these headphones off anyway. No, it won't be. I don't think. I'm convinced that this won't be the only Sportster available in the future. They're going to be a lot more. They're going to be a lot more variants of it. And I think that's where the success of the Sportster was always the variants that it had, and it attracted different types of Sportster rider, of course, and then also the amount of customization that you could do to that bike. All the different generations of that bike. So the success of this will be whether, people in the aftermarket world, whether they're really going to be able to add more to it, add their own style to it. And I think the problem is with these modern bikes now, this is not just Harley Davidson, this is bikes of all brands, of all types, let's say, of the newer type. There's only so much modifications that you can do before it gets either really expensive or totally pointless, because you don't really get a balanced bike. You get a bike that you've spent too much money for the performance gain that you get. Maybe this is the thing. Whereas in older bikes, you could spend money and get decent performance gains. Still not great, but compared to the stock bike, you could get quite a lot better. There we go. Yeah, all well and good, but no dual disc. Yeah, I said that right at the start. Why not have a dual disc at the front? I don't know. Is the writing not on the wall for the internal combustion engines? Give a decade, everything will be electric and new eyes. Well, possibly. I mean, could be that. Detuned. Get around those bends in Scotland. Here we go. This seems to be a new motorcycle, not a Harley. Indian motorcycles have evolved from tradition, but the Harley has turned into a completely up-to-date design. Yes, well, this was a brand new bike. This was a brand new bike from Harley Davidson using the brand new engine. 200 factory surcharge in the US, pricing info, a new way to keep the base price down. Seems like scamming to me. Well, I've got to say, when you start adding accessories and everything like that, you're going to be adding more and more to this bike as well. Of course, they do realize that the dealership automatically adds at least 2k to their. Yes, in the UK we don't have that. What is advertised, that's what you pay. We don't have that. See you. Thanks for joining. Remember, no gravel. Absolutely right. Accessories make it up to will cost £500. Okay, yeah. They should have studied what Ducati did with the Diavel. That's a proper modern cruiser. Yeah, it's performance cruiser. I would agree. Lightish, good lean angle, great power, proper brakes. Yeah, but I'm surprised if they didn't deliver again. Yeah. I'm sitting on the fence with this Sportster. I've got to say, I'm a little bit underwhelmed by a little bit frustrated by this video launch. I'm so frustrated by the delay, of course, but I'm just frustrated by it. It's just a bit underwhelming. I think once I saw it riding there, I thought, the sound, I expected it to be like that. And I'm sure the performance, once you get on it, you'll be pleasantly surprised. From afar, looking at somebody else on it, it just looked a bit misshaped. You looked a bit ungainly on it. You looked a little bit awkward riding it. But there we go. But only does 90 to the tank with it. Well, yeah, small tank. These are not long distance bikes, of course. Detune for the small tank, I doubt that's got much to do with it. I'll be surprised if that's got anything to do with it, but it could be, but I'm not so sure. I think it's Harley's test of the waters for acceptance of liquid cooled engine. I think there's an element of that. I think there's definitely an element of that. There we go. Tourists benefit from from this new engine design. 75 miles per hour for 200 miles. It gas engine. 70. Yeah, do it again 3 times a day, bro. 3 days doesn't need water jacket. This is urban short. Yeah, this is an urban. Well, I wouldn't say urban, bar hopper, evening ride type thing. I don't think this is a long distance ride. It depends what kind of bike you're after. What kind of riding do you do? I mean, are you looking for something that's a little bit longer distance? So you're going to be doing shorter commuting distances, or are you looking for something for the long tour, the long ride? Do you have to ride 100 miles a day or 200 miles a day, or do you only ride 20, 30 miles a day each way? 20, 30 miles each way? Fine, no problem. Anything, 46 or 100 miles each way a day? No, not so sure. Or if you go on a long tour? Not sure. Or do you carry a pillion on a regular basis? If none of these things apply to you, then it'd still be a great bike, right? So great catch. You get a miss for far too many. See you next time. Thanks very much, pal. Thanks very much. And a bit more expensive than the Softail stand. Which one do you like to purchase? Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. It depends whether I want to stay with air-cooled or whether I want to go for the next generation. I'm not sure the next generation, bikes of the future is necessarily the Sportster S. But there we go. Yeah, it's only a bar hopper, yeah. Yeah, to the test ride, everybody. I agree. Let's get it test ridden. Let's see what it actually rides like from members of the public, from you and I, people like you and I. Let's see what it's like. Sure, it's great they're changing and updating, but I think they also stick a bit with their retro style if they link it to the sports like Triumph, Bonneville's. Yeah, the problem for me is that they made a big play about the heritage of the sports, and they talked a lot about the sports before they actually start talking about this bike. But this bike is it's not a total departure. Well, it is kind of a total departure. And you're kind of trying to talk about things that they used to do back in the day, which has no relevance to this bike. That's why I was getting a bit frustrated during this. And I'm thinking, well, what are we watching? What are we talking about here? This isn't to compete with the Ducati. I know, I'm not sure the Bronx would be though either. The Bronx will be, it's just going to be a naked street fighter, totally different from the DFL. I think this had more of a feel of the DFL than but I agree. I don't think it matches anything like that. Do any good mods and it will be $1,700 dollars, pounds, shekels, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the entry level bikes for Harleys are definitely the Softails standards. Yeah, 107. I'll wait for the next model. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. As I say, I do hope that my local dealership, they give me a call and say, I've come and try it out, see what you think. Give us your review, give us your feedback. I doubt they will because I think they know I give an honest review, an independent review. But, we'll see. We'll see. But I think it'd be interesting to get on it. It'd be interesting to see for what a bigger guy, bigger rider feels on it, how they feel on it. But there we go. Got bored out the DFL pretty quick. Prefer Low Rider S. Good feeling. Yeah, I think the Low Rider S is a great bike. That's a great bike. You add a bit of power to it. It's a real powerful machine there under it. Yeah, Sports is still selling in America. Yeah, they are absolutely right. They are, but I'm not sure how long for. I think that was what somebody was asking about that. What do we think? These will start hitting dealers in the UK. Not sure. I'd say, well, judging by the Pan America was launched, and it was another 2-3 months before it came to the UK. Came to dealerships at possibly the same kind of time frame. Not sure. Yeah, there we go. Right. Okay. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Do you know what? It's been nearly 2 hours. Done the show. Last thoughts on the Sportster S. I am very, very pleased, I suppose, that Harley Davidson are going in a new direction, are looking to change this up a little bit, to give the next generation rider an alternative to the air-cooled engine, right? So, I like all that. I liked the fact that they've launched a brand new engine, a liquid-cooled engine, a Revolution Max engine, and I love the technology, and I love what it stands for, and I love that you can still have parallel engines, as it were. You can have the air-cooled, twin-cooled, or you could have this liquid-cooled engine. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the Pan America, whilst I might have been critical in certain regards. I think for what it is, and if you're not going to ride it, some people are telling me, say, oh, you should go and watch this video, how they, ride this bike and how capable it is. And I've never said it's not capable. And, if you've watched any of my early videos and when I've really talked about adventure bikes more, I took these big adventure bikes in places that you should never go. Okay, you should never go as a solo rider. And this was my point about this big adventure bikes. As a solo rider, you take this bike and you inevitably fall off. But you don't just fall off once when you have to pick it up. You have to fall off and you have to pick it up 10, 15, 20 times. how big, how usable are they for the everyday rider in difficult technical conditions? And I'm not talking about riding a big adventure bike on just trails or even soft trails. I'm talking about serious stuff, which they're not designed to do. And this was my point. They're not designed to do. That being said, Pan America with that engine was really good, really capable. However, this bike here, it's there's something missing with it. There's something not quite right with it. I think it's the styling. It seemed to be too low slung, too flat. They from the video, if you saw it and you go back and watch it, they tried to take cues from sportsters of the past and everything, and I think they've possibly added a bit too many of the cues from the styling cues from older bikes and not really just developed a brand new bike and a brand new style. And I think they should have either made it taller, with a sunken seat, more of a sports bike feel to it, with probably a bigger tank that you're leaning over the tank a little bit, maybe some drag bars on it. I don't know, whatever it is, but just changed it up a little bit, and if you're not going to have this bike as a long distance bike, then have it as something that you can just sit inside to it, head over the handlebars a little bit and just, pin the throttle and see how far you can get. Something like that. I would have preferred it to be a little bit like that. It seems if the riders, you're perched right on top of it, and it's almost like your granddad riding the new revolution sportier bikes from Harley Davidson. I'm sorry, granddad riding, it just doesn't seem right to me. But I could be completely wrong. You could say, okay, well, this is a little bit flat trackery, because they did take their cues from there, and I get that. But this just seems to be bigger, heavier, and wrong proportions for that kind of style as well. There we go. Old Slogo. Here we go. It would have been nice to see something more like the XR 750. I agree. I think they've tried to combine a few too many cues and a few too many styling influences, let's say, and they've come up with something that may not work for this kind of bike that they may want to sell you as a sportier bike. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is it going to be the one? I don't know. But look, people who've ridden sportier bikes who go in the bends, right, at speed here, right? The last thing you want is a big front tire. You don't really want a small, narrow front tire too much, because you've got to have the dimensions with the front and rear, of course. But you need something that is capable. You also need something that it's all about the geometry. It's about wheelbase. It's about rake and trail. It's whether you're going to be able to get this bike in a sportier configuration, and also what is your riding position on this bike, and will it feel right? Will it feel right for you to be on this bike, riding it and trying to get some sporty action on it? I'm not so sure that this bike is what they intended. I'm not so sure that the reaction of people once they actually ride this is what they intended. However, and I say this time and time again, ignore the bike. Ignore the bikes, the Pan American, this Sportster S. It's the engine. The engine, I think, is tops. The engine, I think, is the way forward. I'm not sure that the style of this bike that they've put this engine in is necessarily the way to go. Now, can they turn this around for me, somebody like me who's a bit of a doubting Thomas on this right now? Can they turn it around? I think they can if they bring out new variants of it, with different engine sizes of it. If they add some, they can change the aesthetics of it, maybe change the handlebars, change the riding position slightly, all that kind of stuff. I think they could. Steve, hello. Yes, you missed me rabbiting on for the last 2 hours, I'm afraid. Yes, if you go back to the website, you'll see the launch video. A bit of a some people love it, some people don't like it. So, you know, in the chat here, some people are not turned on by it at all. Some people overpriced, underpriced, or happy with the price, I should say. So there's lots of people, lots of things to discuss about this, all this kind of stuff as well. But look, as I say, the Sportster S. You know, when we eventually saw it, because there's about a 15-minute delay, wasn't there, for them to launch it. We went through all the specs and everything, and on paper it seems quite good. I think when it came to video, the video launch, I just don't think Harley Davidson have got this down right yet. They produce a nice little video, they produce a nice little, you know, oh, let's talk about Harley Davidson history and all that. But when you talk about Harley Davidson history for 5-10 minutes and you're not talking about the product that you're actually launching, there's a bit of an issue, right? There's, you know, you kind of think, well, what are we actually waiting here for? So, you know, that's why I was tutting my head. I was, you know, shaking my head as if to say, well, get on with it. And then when they actually started talking about the bike, it was kind of generic, mundane thing. I think, you know, but I looking at the bike as it stands on the side profile, I like the engine stance of it. I like the bike stance of it. But then I just saw the video of it, and I saw the two guys, the CEO and the other guy, riding the bike, and it's an impression. All I can say, it's one of those things. I just think for a taller rider, especially on that, it just looks as if you're on top of the bike rather than sat in the bike, immersed in the bike. And I think that. But there we go. But look, hey. You know, each their own, and I think if you ride it, I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised about the power delivery, about the technology, about the rider modes, about the way it rolls into a bend. I'm convinced that it will be a good bike to ride. You know, there we go. Here we go. Let's just have a couple of here. The Sportster single rider only, no room for passenger seat. No, you're wrong there. Actually, yeah, as standard it is a solo, but if you go into the accessories, you can get rear foot pegs for a passenger. You can also get a rear seat and a rear backrest as well. So yeah. But you're right. As a standard bike, you know, it's a solo bike. A camel horse is designed by a camel horse is designed by committee. Well, the bike is probably awesome, but just too expensive. It needs to be 3,000 cheaper. Do you know what I think? As I said before in this, I think, you know, if they wanted to launch this as their top of the range Sportster, I think yes, the price is fair. But I think what they should have done at the same time and say, look, we've got different Sportsters now with the smaller size engines or different spec to look at this as well. So, you know, right, there we go. It's yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for joining anyway. The bike is well, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. There we go. So if you also check the left empty side is uglier than the right side of the bike. It feels empty in the pictures. Well, I think a lot of bikes do, in terms of because of the exhaust. The exhaust are accent pieces, aren't they? A lot of the time, show pieces on the bikes. So yes, the left side of the bike always do tend to look that way, in my opinion. Not just Harley Davidson's, I think all bikes really, unless you got dual exhaust coming, you know, from either side, parallel exhaust as well. Yeah, sorry, we already have that, didn't we? Yeah, a bit too there, and here we go. No, I missed one. I think I love it. Also, I love the 2021 Sport Glide. I appreciate your videos. So thanks for good work. Well, thanks very much. Really, thanks for that comment. Basically underwhelmed. Do you know what, Edward? I think I am as well. I think I was basically underwhelmed by that. Oh, here's a great comment. You know, I wish I'd seen this earlier. Look, the size of the bike looked like the Superlo, too small for some people. Do you know, it was bugging me what it reminded me of when they were riding it. That's exactly what it reminds me of. That's exactly. Diogo, Violante Pinto. I don't know if you're Spanish, but if you are, gracias. If you're Italian, grazie. Whatever you are, thank you for that comment. I love that. That's exactly what it reminded me of. It reminded me too much of a Superlo when they were riding it. I didn't get that impression when I just saw the picture of the bike on the website or whatever. I was not getting that at all. But now you've mentioned it, Boom. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Here we go. Is the bike using the same engine as the Pan America? Yes, just detuned. Just detuned. Don't know why. You know, maybe it's just too much for the bike to handle. I don't know. But half an hour. Bye. Portuguese man. Obrigado. Right. Let's face it. It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Right. Well, guys, I think it's over 2 hours. I think I've been talking more than enough during this. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks to any of the live streams here, but thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening to me. But it was great to hear your thoughts on this as well, on the Sportster S. I can't wait to see it in the flesh. I would love to sit on it and see if I get the chance to ride it. I would absolutely love to ride it as well. Look, I'll show this last comments as well. I think you're right here. Well, yeah, whatever they call it, with more, they'll give you the full horsepower on it. I think that's what they're aiming for. At some point, they're going to give you the option of a higher horsepower, full power version of it. I agree. There we go. Look, I'm missing lots of comments here. Sorry, guys. Time for the pub. I think it is. Time for lots of things. Hopefully, a stepping stone for new engines for all models. I agree. I'm not surprised enough with this to let go of my Super Low personally. I'm not impressed with this. I'm not impressed enough with this to let go of my Super Low. Yeah, Elisa, I would agree with you actually on that. I would agree with you. I think if you're happy with your Sportster, whatever variants you've got, or if you're happy in any other bike that you've got, I'm not sure there's enough in this to change your mind. I could be wrong, of course. I could be completely wrong. I don't think of what I've seen so far, just purely on visuals here, I'm not sure there's enough in this to bring people that ride, to bring non-Harley Davidson riders into this. I'm not sure. Would it get Harley Davidson riders to ride it? Yeah, I think they will, but I'm not sure it will bring externals just yet. But I could be wrong. There will be a CVO Sports. Well, who knows? Why isn't the horsepower the same? I don't know. They haven't said that. Thanks for the live show, and I'll leave it on that, Rami. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. And I will catch you again on more videos. Catch you again on the next live show coming very, very soon. I am going to be doing lots more live shows on motorcycles and Harley Davidsons, of course, my speciality. But on all things, lots of different things about motorcycle lifestyles and all that sort of stuff. So there will be a lot more coming for sure. But thanks for joining in. Thanks for everything today, all the chat, all the comments. Really appreciate it. And look, the website, I say all at the bottom there, the website. It's there are lots of stuff on the website, but Harley Davidson's and all sorts of other stuff as well. There's a members area for exclusive content. There is a content creator course there, and there's lots more. Bye everyone in the comments as well. But to say there is a lot more coming, a lot more live shows, lots on the website. Go check that out, and subscribe to the channel if you like the channel. If you like listening to this kind of stuff, if you like hearing me talk, if you like this format as well, let us know, and I will do a lot more live shows. I kind of prefer to do live shows and have a discussion, and I can interact with you directly. I kind of enjoy that more than producing videos sometimes. I kind of go in and out of this, but there we go. Right, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again whenever that is. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get all future videos as well. So as soon as there's a new video or a live stream, you'll be sent a notification for it, so you can watch it on your phone or whatever straight away. You know the score. If you do YouTube, you know that whole score. Right, catch you again. Ta-da.